Good morning, my dear students, and welcome to a class on history. In the previous class, we were dealing with the sources regarding the Mughal dynasty. I think we have completed two of them in the previous class. Let's move on to the remaining two ones and the rest of the things in today's class. The third source that we have about the Mughal dynasty is the Jama Masjid, which was built by again Shah Jahan, and this is the biggest mosque in India. The Jama Masjid, which is considered as the third source about the Mughal dynasty, was built by Shah Jahan, and it is considered as the biggest mosque in India. And it has a courtyard, this kind of hall that can accommodate thousands of people at a time. So it's a very large, huge courtyard that can accommodate thousands of people at a time. And how was it built? It was built with a lofty basement with majestic steps leading to the gateways that are at the three sides of the courtyard. Okay, so this particular Jama Masjid was built at lofty basement with the majestic steps that are leading to the gateways that are at the three sides of the courtyard. And there were three gateways, 4 towers and 2 minarets. These 2 minarets are built of red sandstone and marble, and it is of 40-meter high. The height is 40 meters. So there is a lofty basement with the majestic steps leading to the 3 different gateways at the 3 sides of the courtyard. There are 3 gateways, 4 towers and 2 minarets, and these minarets are built of red sandstone and marble, and the height is 40 meters. At the north gate, as I said, there are 3 gateways. The north gate has got 39 steps, eastern 35, southern 33. So that's what you need to remember about the Jama Masjid. This is the biggest mosque in India, built at the lofty basement with the majestic steps leading to 3 different gateways at the 3 sides of the courtyard. It has got 3 gateways, 4 towers and 2 minarets. The northern gate has got 39 steps, eastern 35 and southern also 33. Now come to the fourth one, there is the Red Fort. This is a fourth source regarding the Mughal dynasty. Again, it was built by Shah Jahan on the banks of Yamuna, made up of red sandstone and marble. It has got massive walls and 2 gateways. And the western gateway is used by the emperor for his ceremonial purposes. So I said there are 2 different gateways, and the western gateway was used by the king or by the emperor for ceremonial purposes. And there are 2 important things that you need to remember. That is Diwan. Diwali Arm and Diwali Cast. A Diwali Cast was an ornamented hall, decorated hall, and that's a place where we have this particular peacock throne kept. So it is the ornamented hall where we have the peacock throne kept. It is used by the emperor to give audience, to have the conference, or to have the meeting with the princes, nobles and the dignitaries. So Diwan Khas, it is an ornamented hall where we have the peacock throne kept. It is used by the emperor to give audience, to give meeting conference to the princes, nobles and the dignitaries. And Aurangzeb built Moti Masjid. Okay, it was built by Aurangzeb, Moti Masjid, built by Aurangzeb at Red Fort. And this is made up of a pure marble. This Moti Masjid was built up of a pure marble, and it is a historical monument, and it has got a very great practice of a Prime Minister hoisting the national flag on August 15. So these are the four different sources that we have about the Mughal dynasty. Okay, today we have learned two of them. The Jama Masjid, the biggest mosque in India, the Red Fort, which has got an historical importance. I hope we are clear with these four sources that we have learned. Now we have got three important rulers to be learned about the Mughal dynasty. There are three important people. The first one is Babur. Second is Akbar. The third one is Aurangzeb. These are the three people that we have to learn in this particular chapter. So let's take the first one, that is Babur. His complete name is, the whole name of this particular great person is Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur. Okay, and he was invited by, this particular person Babur was invited by Daulat Khan Lodi to defeat Ibrahim Lodi. So he was invited by Daulat Khan Lodi to defeat. He wanted his help to defeat the person called Ibrahim Lodi. So we have the first battle of Panipat in 1526, where we have the first battle of Panipat, in which Ibrahim Lodi was defeated and Babur occupied Delhi and Agra. Once he occupied Delhi and Agra, he had two different other battles. Okay. The first one is about against the Rana. Second one is about against the Eastern Afghans. So in 1526 he defeated Ibrahim Lodi and he occupied the places called Delhi and Agra. Once he occupied those two places, he had two different battles against two different people, which is Rana and against Eastern Afghans. So in 1527, there we have the Battle of Kanwa, in which Bahu on the one side and the other side we have got Rana Sanga. Okay, and Babur defeated him and he won the battle. That is in 1527, the Battle of Kanwa. It was against Babur and Rana Sanga, and Babur defeated him and won the battle. And in 1529, he had another war, that is the Battle of Garga, in which one side we have got Babur and against we have got the Afghan forces, and Babur was able to retreat, force them to retreat, but he was not able to have a convincing victory against the Afghan forces, and he died in 1530. So there are three important battles in the lifetime of Babur. The first one is in 1526, we have the first battle of Panipat. Second, battle of Kanwa, where he defeated Rana Sangam. 1529, we have the battle of Garga, in which he was able to defeat and retreat the Afghan forces, but he was not able to have a convincing victory against them, and he died in 1530. That's about the first king called Babur. And second, we have got the person called Akbar. He is the greatest Mughal empire, and when he became the king, he was just 13 years of old, and he was guided by the person called Bairam Khan. Okay, Bairam Khan was the one who was guiding Akbar, because when he became the king, he was just 13 years old. And once he became the king, there was a difficult situation. What was the difficult situation? The first one was he had to reconquer his empire, and the Afghan forces were regrouping against Akbar. So there are two different difficulties that he had to face. First one is to reconquer the empire. Second, the Afghan forces were preparing themselves against Akbar. So we have got this particular second battle of Panipat against Mughal forces and Hemu. Okay, so Afghan forces were regrouping with the help of Hemu. So we have the second battle of Panipat against Mughal forces and Hemu, and Mughals won the battle and he captured the places like Delhi, Agra, Malwa, Gujarat, Kashmir, Kabul, Bengal. All those places were occupied by Akbar. And in 1576 there was this particular battle of Haldigati, in which Mughal had to battle against Maharana Pratap. Okay, there was a battle between Mughal and Maharana Pratap, and again Mughal won the battle. And in 1605, Akbar died. So once he became the king, as I said, he became the king at the age of 13. And he had two different difficult situations. One is reconquer his empire. Second, the Afghans were regrouping themselves against Akbar. So he had two different battles. The second battle of Panipat, in which he defeated the king called Hemu. 1576, the battle of Haldigat, in which he defeated Maharana Pratap. Okay, so these are the two important battles that he fought, and he died in 1605. And once at the time of his death, the extension of his territory, extension of his area was Assam in the east to northwestern frontier. Those are the places that were conquered by the person called Akbar. Now moving on to the third person, that is Aurangzeb. He continued to rule that area for 50 years as the ruler, and he was mainly interested in battles for war. He devoted his life for different wars. And what was the extension of his territory, extension of his emperor? From the north, it is from Kashmir. The north, it is from Kashmir to south. We have river Kaveri. Okay. From Kashmir to Kaveri, and from the west, it is from Kabul to east. Chittagong. So this was the extension of his territory. North, it is from Kashmir to Kaveri in south. West, from Kabul up to Chittagong in the east. And he died in 1707. So these are the three important rulers that you need to remember. Okay, I hope it is clear for you. Can you complete the notes? And if there is a doubt, we can ask me. Thank you.